Hi, my name is Paul Schmier and I'm a design engineer here at SAGE. Today I'm super excited to talk about a project that I've been working on for quite some time and is the culmination of years of two-handed knowledge, practice, and on-the-water design, the Spey R8. Before we dive in, I'd first like to talk about what goes into making a great two-handed fly rod and introduce some of the key factors that went into the development of this next generation rod family. First and foremost, the Spey Angler's arena is as diverse as it is vast. While the end goal of a swung down and across presentation remains constant, the venues and situations anadromous fish find themselves in is anything but, from small water and tight quarters to wide open runs and long casts. To maximize our chances, the Spey Angler needs a rod that delivers the fly precisely time and time again, with minimal fatigue. They need a rod that's intuitive and easy to cast, optimized and fine-tuned for their application. By utilizing our proprietary Revolution 8 graphite, these rods heighten the smooth transfer of energy throughout the three key components of the Spey cast, allowing anglers to effectively lift line off the water, load the rod sufficiently, and deliver the fly to the target. Simultaneously, we fine-tune rod models and actions to match the vast array of Spey situations found around the globe. First, let's break down the three fundamental components of a Spey cast: lift, load, and delivery, and share with you how we've maximized performance in these three areas with Spey R8. The first component of a Spey cast is the lift. Adequate stiffness and power are required to lift heavy sink tips, long heads, and bulky flies off the water. But responsiveness is also key to ensure that no efforts are wasted. When the angler begins moving the rod, the line and fly also move. All the while, minimizing blank weight is critical to reducing fatigue. The rigidity and responsiveness that our Revolution 8 technology offers without sacrificing blank weight allows us to maximize lifting efficiency across the family. The second component of a Spey cast is the load. While sustained and airborne anchor Spey casts generate their energy in different ways, in either case the rod needs to load sufficiently to be able to turn over the sink tip or leader, tippet, and a fly at the desired distance. This family maximizes the amount of energy collected in sweep or touch and go moves through to the D-loop, then transfers it smoothly into the rod. The last component of a Spey cast is the delivery. To effectively deliver the fly to its target, enough energy must be transferred from the loaded rod into the Spey line. These rods apply the responsiveness and tracking abilities of R8 technology to diminish lost energy and reduce lateral movements upon the forward stroke, providing casting power and accuracy throughout the entire family. In designing the new Spey R8 rods, we recognize there isn't a single rod action appropriate for the wide variety of Spey fishing applications found around the globe. We identified 4 distinct Spey rod applications, each with its own unique set of requirements. This new approach matches rod action to application, ensuring anglers have the most fine-tuned Spey rod for their fishing. Let's break down each action as well as the specific models within them. The first action I'd like to cover is our max versatility rods. These rods excel in the majority of Spey fishing situations and are best suited to handle a mix of line types and casting styles. Available in rod weights appropriate for summer and winter steelhead, Atlantic and Pacific salmon, and other sea-run targets, these models are proficient at casting the typical combinations of lines, leaders, tips, and flies that each season requires. With core lengths of 12.5 to 13.5 feet, lines can easily be controlled when on the water, and rivers big or small are all in play. At 12.5 feet, the 7126 can fit into tight spots, but still has the power for turnover of sink tips and heavy flies, and enough length to adequately control line once on the water. This is an agile rod for small and medium-sized rivers. At 13 feet, the 7130 delivers in summer or winter, Scandi or Skagit, small or big water. It's long enough for big casts and has excellent line control, but is still manageable with limited D-loop room, yet is light enough to fish all day with minimal fatigue. This is the most versatile 7-weight in the family. When casting distance and line control are mandatory, a 13.5-foot rod becomes necessary. The 7136 has the ability to cast sink tips and weighted flies, and due to its length, will be a great rod for fishing multi-density heads. This one will also excel in controlling longer heads and is applicable with Skagit, Scandi, and light long belly lines. The 8130 is deep loading and powerful in order to cast heavier tips and flies. It offers great distance and line control and yet isn't too long to create challenges when faced with limited space. This is the most versatile 8-weight in the family. The 9130 has incredible power and fish fighting abilities and is a perfect choice to cast Skagit lines with ultra heavy sink tips and big weighted flies, or equally to deliver Scandi lines with high line speed. This is tailor-made for targeting big, bright Chinook and Atlantic salmon. The second action I'd like to cover is our lightweight line speed category. These models are designed specifically for summer run steelhead, smaller salmon, and oversized trout. While fly size and desired depth may be modest when targeting these fish, placement is much more critical. To cover the water effectively, anglers need high line speeds to cut through wind and turn over flies completely so the swing engages immediately. This is especially true when fishing bulky, wind-resistant surface flies. At the same time, the tool must match the quarry and shouldn't be overpowered. Our lightweight line speed models, available in a 5 or 6 weight, shine in these scenarios, where winds arrive daily and potential holding water extends from bank to bank. For anglers keen on spey fishing with lightweight setups or on smaller rivers, the 5126 excels. This rod is perfectly suited for targeting smaller half-pound summer run steelhead with scandy and dry lines, while also maintaining the ability to cast and fish heavier trout spey setups with Skagit lines and modest sink tips. When fishing classic wet flies and skaters, the 6130 is the ideal choice when paired with a light scandy setup. Additionally, it's plenty capable of fishing light sink tips and moderately weighted flies during midday sun. This is our most versatile lower 48 summer run steelhead model with plenty of power to cut through summer winds. The third action consists of our most powerful rods. Targeting the biggest and brightest Atlantic salmon, winter steelhead, or Chinook is the most demanding form of anadromous angling, and this is where our most powerful Spey R8 rods excel. With additional blank strength and rod lengths up to 15 feet, these rods offer maximum amounts of power and control. For the angler, this translates into increased abilities to move and lift long and heavy lines from the water, then carry them through the entire spey cast, all in the face of extreme conditions. In technical situations where line and loop control, casting range, and fish fighting strength are paramount, and none can be compromised, choose our most powerful models of the Spey R8 family. At home on small and medium-sized rivers, the 8126 is an extremely powerful spey rod able to cast heavy sink tips, the largest weighted flies, and equally delivering scandy and short-head traditional spey lines with ease. This one will be great as a dedicated winter steelhead rod, while also making a phenomenal small-water Atlantic salmon rod. Possessing the power and length to lift, carry, and cast heavy heads, the 8136 will excel in casting long lines and big flies. This rod is an excellent big water steelhead tool from Oregon to British Columbia and will be well suited for Atlantic salmon fishing with scandy and traditional lines. Designed for big waters and large fish, the 9140 is extremely powerful for casting great distances with various lines and pulling on big, bright, anadromous fish. Our most popular model for Atlantic salmon, this rod comes in a 6-piece configuration, making it ideal for traveling anglers. The longest and most powerful model in the family, the 10150, is for the largest of rivers where 100+ foot casts are necessary to reach holding lies and traveling lanes. It's an excellent tool matched with long belly and traditional spey lines. The final action I'd like to cover is our switch rods. When tenuous weighting and compromised space for D-loops call for situational and creative spey casts, switch rods are ideal and often essential tools. These rods are built for spey casting in the closest quarters where maximum distance isn't required, but getting the fly to turn over into the zone is critical. Efficient, capable, and dynamic, these models pack a punch and allow anglers to alter their cast and change approaches according to their surroundings. Despite their shorter length of 11.5 feet, they cast both Skagit and scandy lines to necessary and even surprising distances. In core sizes of 7 and 8 weight, they're scaled to match a variety of species from trout to salmon to steelhead. Our most popular switch rod, the 7116, is extremely versatile, light in hand, and able to cast both Skagit and scanty lines from the tightest of quarters. It's going to be suitable for most steelhead fisheries and smaller Atlantic and Pacific salmon. A more powerful switch rod, the 8116, is able to cast heavy sink tips and big weighted flies from extremely confined spaces. It will be appropriate for large anadromous species on small and medium-sized rivers, ideal for winter steelhead and narrower Atlantic salmon streams. Moving on to the cosmetics, the overall look of Spey R8 is designed to feel fresh, yet familiar, and distinctively SAGE. The blank color is a modern take on SAGE's original and iconic two-handed rods. Rich and warm, these ale-colored blanks signify the meeting of history, culture, and innovation. Gold and black trim wraps and gold silkscreen alongside gray thread wraps complete the package. Following the classic theme, we used a traditional wood insert on the reel seat, with a deep walnut that's complementary to the ale blank color. Components are anodized aluminum in a matte granite finish and downlocking configuration, except on switch rods, which are uplocking for better balance on those shorter lengths. These Spey R8 rods also feature brand new handle profiles with smaller diameters and updated ergonomics. The top handle accommodates a wide variety of grip preferences and positions, while the bottom handle shape enhances leverage and control. Symmetrical trim rings bracket the reel seat, adding a touch of elegance. Finally, for the guide set, we've utilized tangle-free Fuji K guides that feature a forward-leaning and rounded frame to minimize line catch and tangles with thin diameter shooting lines. They also feature a hard ceramic silicon carbide ring for reduced friction. Paired with our proven hard chrome snake guides and tip top, the Spey R8 features a best-in-class guide set. To wrap it up, for those looking for the most intuitive and fine-tuned Spey rod, we are extremely proud to introduce the Spey R8 family. Be sure to pay your local fly shop a visit to learn more and check them out for yourself. See you on the water.